Hello, and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported with heart centered solutions for your everyday life. I'm your host, Alicia Hartzell, and I wanted to read to you one of the questions that I got recently. Dear Alicia, my relationship recently ended, and I am hurt and confused and feel all mixed up about myself. My heart feels broken, and the sadness feels overwhelming. How do I get over this breakup? Can you please help me figure out where to go from here? So, today's topic is all about mending a broken heart, right? We are going to talk about how to navigate this kind of breakup, sad ending place, right? And it's not just the ending of a relationship, it could be an ending of a friendship or a partnership or any kind of relationship you have with someone that you care about and that you've spent time building something with, right? Endings are hard. So I get it. And you're not alone. Now, as we talk about this, there are two things that I kind of want to keep in mind because I think it's going to help you shift into a deeper place of possibility, right? The first one is to really realize that positive feelings and negative feelings, they're all designed to help you, right? The feelings that we have are very important. They're very valuable to how we proceed in our life. And they're designed to be indicators to help us stay on course, right? To help us not get too far away from ourselves, to help us really hunker into our own hearts and stories, right? And so when we have negative feelings come up, we don't want to bypass them. We don't want to suppress them. We don't want to just move over them. We want to feel them, right? Because they're going to help us on our path forward. But you don't always have to follow the feelings, right? If you're feeling overwhelmed by an emotion like sadness, there's a good chance that you're not just feeling the feeling, but you're following the feeling. And what this means is you've allowed your mind to really go on autopilot. So that sadness has taken control, right? It's leading your thoughts, it's pointing your focus in a certain direction, and you're just following along for the ride. And so it's really valuable to remember that we have metacognition. We have this ability to witness our thoughts, to witness our feelings, to direct where we go and how we participate with those thoughts and feelings, right? So if you're feeling that sense of overwhelm by a particular emotion that you don't necessarily like the way that it's making you feel, remember that you can step back. You can take your mind off of autopilot and you can really start to look at the emotion, the feeling, that sadness, and what it's trying to indicate to you so that you can find your path back to your own heart, back to your healing, and back to that place of inner alignment for yourself, right? Now, the second one I want to bring to your attention is it's a really minor shift in thinking, but it can have a powerful outcome to how you feel, right? So this idea of getting over something, right? We all go through it. We want to get over this. But getting over something usually means we're bypassing the information. And in bypassing the information, we tend to find ourselves back in that exact same place again later. So instead of reaching for the thought that says, I need to get over this, reach for a thought that maybe creates more room for you, more room for your evolution, more room for expansion. So it's more like, I need to heal through this or evolve through this, right? So rather than going over it, it's about going through it. And that creates something sustainable, something lasting and powerful within your story for your heart, right? Okay, now I've got four things that I want to bring to your attention as you step into this place of tending to your broken heart. Now, all relationships are different. There's not one that is exactly like another. And so it's really hard to think about giving information to you about where to go when I don't know the details or the intimate parts of how the relationship broke or why or where or, like how it evolved and came to be because they're all unique and different. So, what I tried to do is boil a few ideas down that will help you in this phase, right? In this part of that experience of being brokenhearted. Now, the first one is this idea that every relationship is an opportunity for you to grow within your own heart and story. And every person in your life that you create love with is a gift to you, right? Now, this is an idea and this is a perspective of the way you see people that can be really powerful, not just in love relationships, but in all relationships, right? This idea that every person that you come in contact with is a mirror to your own being. And in that, it is a gift because that person that comes and meets you, whether it's a stranger on the street or a person that you create a dynamic love relationship with, they are there to help you see parts of your heart that you might not be able to see without them. And that is a powerful, beautiful thing. It is indeed a gift. That person that came into your life was a gift. And even if it broke down in a really terrible way and you walk away thinking more negative things about them than when you started, if you can go through what happened in the relationship and see that that is a way for you to come into deeper contact with your own heart, your own story, your own limiting beliefs, and the things that you want to evolve through, then all of a sudden, that person who might be negative in your story right now turns into a gift that has a powerful, lasting ripple through your life. Because all the love relationships we have really echo through our story down the line, right? The love relationships we create with people, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, right? They have an imprint on us, and we carry parts of those experiences with us down the line. And if you can choose to evolve through the breakup, evolve through the things that happened, and find that place where what you created was a gift. And that person, that mirror, that reflection to who you are and your heart is a gift, then you're winning, right? Then you ease up on some of that suffering that the breakup caused or that any of the things that happened in the relationship caused in your life, right? Now, I also want to really bring home this idea that while you are broken up with this person and this heartache and this breakup, that relationship ending, the relationship that will never end is the one you have with yourself, right? The one you have with your own being and your own story. And so if you can utilize all of the things that are going on in your life, the good and the bad and the sad and the hard and the wonderful, to help you fortify that relationship, the long-term relationship that you have with yourself, the longest relationship you're ever going to be in, then you again are taking whatever remnants that relationship had and you're using them as the gift that they are to fortify that powerful connection that you have with yourself, right? Now, that leads us to the second thing I want you to really kind of think about, which is taking the time to figure out both the positive and the negative takeaways from that relationship, right? This is a way to really put that first part into action. We all have things that we don't like in any relationship, right? Whether no matter what relationship it is, you have positives and you have negatives. You have positive and negative things that they've maybe contributed to, and positive and negative things that you've contributed to. And when you're in this place of being heartbroken at the ending, right? It's helpful if you can shift that focus to a productive place rather than just ruminating in the pain. And a really great way to do that is to scan through the relationship and think about what worked. Scan through the relationship and think about what the red flags were that maybe you looked over. Scan through the relationship and see where you could have done better. Scan through the relationship and see where there maybe are some tools that you need to build up for yourself so that you can be a better version of yourself in the next relationship, right? Make a list, write it out, think about it. However it is that you process, whether it's on paper or talking with a friend or whatever it is that makes you really create ownership, right? We all do it in different ways. Step in and really think about and process the positive and negative takeaways in the relationship, right? This is not only going to help your relationship that you're in now, but it's going to help any relationship you have down the road, right? Again, it's utilizing the gift that relationship was, that person was, right? Okay, the third thing. In the story of your life, some people are designed to be long-term people and some people are designed to be short-term people. All of it's a gift, but some are long-term and some are short-term. Now, I remember when I was in my early 20s, somebody told me this, and it was like an epiphany to me. It was like, oh, I need to stop trying to make short-term people long-term people. Not everyone is designed to be in your life for a long period of time, and that's okay. Now, when we start a relationship, we don't think about the end, right? We are in the moment, we are there, we are having an amazing time, and we think that it's probably going to last, well, forever, or whatever forever is in that moment. But the reality is that these gifts that come into our lives, and these people who are gifts, these relationships that are gifts, not all of them are designed to last for a long period of time. And when you try to make a short-term gift, a short-term experience, a long-term experience, it can really cause a lot of heartache and a lot of additional suffering simply because we're trying to make something it isn't, right? You're trying to create an extended version of something that was really meant to be this jam-packed, beautiful, small gift, right? So as you're processing, really keep that in mind. Maybe this was a short-term gift, and that's okay, right? And if it's a long-term gift and it ends, oh, so this long-term gift was this long, and I'm so lucky I had it for this period of time, right? It's these small little things that can help ease up some of that overwhelm, some of that suffering, and get you to a place where you can get to that higher level thinking and open up to kind of that creative curiosity where you can start to feel your way back to yourself again, right? Which is a big deal. Okay. The next one is that I want you to double check your point of reference. Now, I use your point of reference as an emotional tool, and I'm going to link that here and below. When we go through breakups, unfortunately, what usually happens is the absence of that person shoots them straight into main character status in our thinking, right? So our thoughts revolve around them. We are focused on them, what they're doing, what they didn't do, how they made us feel, right? It's all about them. When your focus is out there on an external thing that you have zero autonomy over, there's not a lot of room for evolution because you can't change any of that, right? So make sure you bring your point of reference off of them. See the tendency. I keep pulling towards them. My thoughts keep pulling towards them. I can't stop having them as that point of reference. What are they doing? How did they make me feel? Like all of it is on them. Just bring it back home, right? Just bring it back home. Okay. My point of reference, my heart, my story. I have autonomy here. I have the ability to evolve here. I have the ability to find myself again, right? That mixed up sense that was in the statement where it's like I feel mixed up about myself. There's a good chance it's because that point of reference is on the other person, right? So just bring it back home. Bring it back home to yourself. Show up there. And then with that creative curiosity, that positive curiosity, you can start looking at the dynamic, right? Like you can start feeling your way through a little bit more easily and more effectively. Now, the other thing that tends to happen when our point of reference is off is that we accidentally start to pick up a negative voice in our head, right? If you pick up any kind of idea that you are less than, if you start thinking and feeling less than, I am less than, I feel small, I feel not enough, your point of reference is probably on them and not your own heart, right? If you have any kind of bullying thoughts that are coming through as a repercussion of the breakup, there's a good chance that your point of reference is on the other person. And it's time to bring it home and step into finding your way back to your truth, to your worth, to your value outside of anything else, right? Unconditionally. Okay. Now, I want you to keep these 4 things in mind. 6 if you count the 2 things at the beginning. As you tend to your heart, right? As you step into this place to tend to that long-term relationship that you have with yourself. Relationships are hard. Endings are hard. And there's no real way to get around the hard part. You can do hard things. You can show up and you can come back home to your own heart, your own story, your own being. And that will be the easiest place for you to tend to your heart, right? It'll be hard, but it will be worth it. You're worth it. You're worth coming back to yourself for, right? Okay. Now, if you have any questions, if you have a specific situation or dynamic that you want me to walk you through, let me know in the comments on the blog or on the video. I am here to help you in any way that I can. Like and share this. If you have friends who are going through a breakup, help them come back to their heart, right? And until next time, know that I am here holding a place of love for you where your heart is truly, truly on the mend.